Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, for this video, I'm going to do a cushion foundation review, and this product is also from Bobbi Brown, and this is one of the reformulation of their cushion foundation, and this is the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Cushion Foundation with SPF 40 PA++++. Now this is not just a reformulation of their intensive skin serum cushion, but it's also a new packaging. As you can see, it's now in a new luxury hexagon cushion case, and the one I have here in the shade, I don't know if you can see it, it's light to medium. So this is how the packaging looks like. It's now if I were to compare this with the previous packaging of their intensive serum cushion, this is the old packaging. It's in a typical round shaped cushion case, and they're both luxurious, but this is now bigger and a more hexagonal shape, while this old packaging is in a round shape. So here's how different about the case is. Here the old case is your typical cushion that you press the button here, then you open the case, while the new cushion case, it's now a magnet. As you can see here, I'll show you. See, it's now a magnet case. So I'm going to open the seal and see how this cushion foundation performs if compare it to the old formulation. So this is how the packaging looks like, and I'm gonna open this, and they now have a new cushion puff. As you can see, it's now a teardrop, and the ribbon strap, it's now bigger, so it has better grip compared to the previous cushion puff. So when you open, there's still a seal sticker, so we're gonna remove it. Okay, that's a bit harder to pull. It's kind of satisfying, but it's kind of hard to open. Now, as you can see here, I am in this, I don't know if you can see it, I am in the shade light to medium compared to the previous cushion that I have. And as you can see, in the previous formulation of the intensive serum cushion, I have in the shade medium, which is the darkest shade available, and the one I have is light to medium, which is the second darkest shade available. So I'm gonna apply the cushion foundation now. As you can see here, the sponge, I don't know if you can see it, but do you know, compared to other cushion foundation, the sponge of the intensive skin serum cushion, actually the sponge is not the typical cushion sponge. The sponge is actually made of loofah, that's what you call it. You know, the one that you use to scrub your body. That's what I think how the sponge looks. It's different than the other typical sponge from other cushion foundations. So I'm gonna apply the cushion. Use the cushion puff. You can see the top is so saturated, so I don't want to apply too much. I don't want to pick up too much product. So just a light dab. Okay, pick up the product, and then tap the excess. You don't want to apply too much. And let's apply the cushion. Hopefully the shade light to medium is a good match. Give me some of that fire. Okay, first application, it still feels cooling. I remember just like when I first tried the Bobbi Brown weightless skin cushion, it feels cooling. So the new formulation is also cooling. So the new formulation of the intensive serum cushion is also cooling. Okay, pick up the products from the palette. You don't want to waste products, so I apply this on my forehead. Okay, this is how the cushion foundation on one side of my face compared to this side. There is some coverage, but if I were to compare the coverage of the Bobbi Brown weightless skin cushion and this intensive skin serum cushion, I'd say that the weightless skin cushion has a little more coverage than the intensive skin serum cushion. And just like the Intensive Skin Serum Foundation. It's also gives you a dewy, hydrating glow. And I forgot to tell you that same with the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Foundation. This also contains cordyceps, bamboo grass, and lychee, and some apple and watermelon extracts with ginseng. So it will gives you a, these ingredients will give you a hydration, better anti-aging effect on the skin, and antioxidants that really helps fights aging and moisturize your skin. So I'm going to apply the cushion foundation the rest of my face.
Kicks it clean, roll up to the spot, they say to me, give me some of that fire.
Okay, I forgot to tell you the shade light to medium is a little light for me. It is slightly lighter than the shade medium, but we shall see if this oxidizes. Let's see if I can build up the coverage, if I can spot conceal the dark and under eye circles and some dark spots. Pick up from the product from the palette.
You know I own the threads, like my style. You know I stack the bends, like my style. I got designer friends. Cut up jeans, kicks it clean. Roll up to the spot, they say to me,
Blend everything.
give me some of that fire.
Okay, this is how the cushion foundation on my face, and it's really hydrating and dewy. And because this is a glow cushion, I might have to set this with powder. I'm afraid that it might look greasy and oily on my face. So I'm going to set this with powder. Even though this is a first impression review, I'm still gonna powder. I'm afraid that it might get so oily. So I'm gonna set this with the Bobbi Brown Sheer Finish Pressed Powder in the shade Pale Yellow. Okay, now that I'm done setting this with powder, I'm going to do a wear test on how this cushion foundation performs throughout the day, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, here's an update on how the cushion foundation performs. As you can see, it's glowy, but at the same time, my face is oily. My face started oil up around 4 to 5 hours, and this is how the cushion looks like. It got oily. Even if I powder, the face got really oily. And when I look at, I don't know if you can see it, but there's separation because of too much oil produced on my mouth area. So there's separation in the line areas, and my chin area it's fading with this, there's separation and little fading. Now I'm going to remove the oil on my face.
Designer friends, cut up jeans, kicks it clean. Roll up to the spot, they say to me, give me some of that fire. Give me some of that fire.
Okay, I'm done removing the oil on my face, and I use 2 blotting papers. And this is how the cushion looks. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Okay, last update for my first impression review of the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Cushion Foundation. Now, here's my review on how this cushion foundation performs, just to see if there's any difference between the new formulation and the old formulation. Now, here's how the cushion foundation performs. Here's the good side and the downside about this cushion foundation. Now, for the good side is it's true to its claim that it has an improvement of giving you a luminous and more radiant skin. As you can see here, every angle of my face, it has a better luminosity and it has better radiance compared to the previous formulation of the Intensive Skin Serum Cushion. And other than that, it really gives you a flawless, healthy, radiant skin. That's what I like about the new formulation, is that it gives me a healthy glow. I look like I have healthy, it gives me a healthy glow on my face, that, you know, the typical Korean glow, that it gives you a Korean glow, a nice, beautiful Korean glow. That's how the cushion performs. And throughout the day, I look radiant, and the luminosity lasted throughout the whole day. So that's the good side about this cushion foundation. Now here is the downside of the cushion foundation. The downside is the cushion doesn't really last some parts of my face. So I'd say that the longevity of the cushion is still the same from the previous formulation of the Intensive Skin Serum cushion. And like I said, its longevity isn't really that good, because some parts of my face, the cushion fades. Here are the parts, the nose parts have fade, especially here in this, at the bridge of my nose. The cushion fades at the bridge of my nose, and here in my laugh line and my chin area, the cushion separates. So it looks, I don't know if you can see it. I did an update a while ago how my face got so oily, and because of how oily my face is, a lot of oils that's produced on my oiliest part, it really fades. So the cushion foundation fades on the oiliest part, especially here in my nose, my laugh line, and my chin area. Other than the laugh line and the chin area fades, I noticed that there's also separation here in my forehead here. So the parts that fades here in my forehead, my nose area, my laugh lines, and also my chin area. So these are the areas that the cushion foundation didn't last long. So its longevity isn't really that good. So so final thoughts for my first impression. I have a mixed feelings about the Intensive Skin Serum cushion. Just like the old formulation, its oil control isn't that good, and the longevity isn't really that good. If I use the cushion alone, even if I set this with powder, it still doesn't last long. So maybe if I use this with primer, and then set with powder again, hopefully the longevity will last longer. Now don't get me wrong when I said I have mixed thoughts. I mean, same as with the previous formulation of the Intensive Skin Serum Cushion Foundation, which is this one here. This is the old formulation. As you can see, I'm gonna show you that. As you can see, it doesn't have a puff anymore, because the puff is already gone. Like it's already been used up many years ago, and as you can see, it's already empty. It's already empty, and this is already the refill. I already used the refill. So when I first bought this, I already used the first cushion, and then I used a refill. So it's already near empty. So just like the previous formulation, the old formulation of the Intensive Skin Serum cushion, it's really a well-loved cushion. I've been using this a lot. So it just shows how I really love this cushion, despite it has some flaws in it. Despite it has some negativity in it, like it didn't last long in some of my face. Even though it didn't really last throughout the day, I still love this cushion because of how it gives me a nice luminous glow. But if I was to compare this with the new formulation of the Intensive Skin Serum cushion, I'd say this has a better luminosity and gives me a more of a healthy radiance. So the luminosity and the radiance is better. So even the longevity isn't that good, I might really reach out for this. I might really like this. But we shall see how this cushion foundation performs if I use with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, or I'll use a primer, which is I'm planning to use this together, the Bobbi Brown Intensive Serum Radiance Primer. So on the next day, I'm going to use these two together to see how the cushion foundation performs when I use this with the Intensive Radiance Primer. So that's my initial review for the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Cushion Foundation. And on the next day, I'm going to do another wear test of this cushion foundation together with the Intensive Serum Radiance Primer to see how this cushion foundation performs with primer together, setting this with powder. So I'll see you guys on the next day. Okay, today is the second day of me reviewing the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Cushion Foundation. And for today, I'm going to review the cushion together with primer, with concealer, and set this with powder. So let's get started. Now I'm already done with my skincare and primer. The skincare I use is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and this is also a primer. So this is both a moisturizer and primer. So I use this to hydrate and prep the skin. And also, the primer I use is the Bobbi Brown Intensive Serum Radiance Primer. I already applied these two together off camera, so I'm just gonna proceed to the cushion foundation. Okay, so the tone up primer, I'm kind of scared that it might brighten the cushion because what I have here is in the shade light to medium, and this is the second to the darkest shade. When I applied this, the shade light to medium was a little light for me, and I was hoping it would oxidize, but it didn't really oxidize on my face. And the worst part is the color is very neutral for me. You can see, as you can see yesterday, there was a little difference between the undertone of the cushion and the undertone of my neck and my ear. So I'm worried that because I use this as if I'm gonna use this as primer, this primer has a tone effect, so it might brighten the cushion foundation. So good luck to me. Anyway, let's start with applying the cushion.
Everywhere I go, they like my style. When I put on a show, they like my style. See me on the screen, they like my style. They wanna be like me.
Pat the excess, not to apply too much.
Kicks clean, roll up to the spot. They say to me, give me some of that fire. Give me some of that fire. Give me some of that fire. You know I mix the trends, like my style. You know I own the threads, like my style. You know I
Next is I'm going to apply the Bobbi Brown Intensive Serum Concealer. I'm in the shade Beige.
clean, roll up to the spot. They say to me, give me some of that fire.
I'm going to use the cushion puff to blend.
Give me some of that fire. Give me some of that fire. Give me some of that fire.
Next is I'm going to set my face with powder. I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Sheer Finish Press Powder, and I'm in the shade Pale Yellow.
Give me. Everywhere I go, they like my style. When I put on a show, they like my style. See me on the screen, they like my style.
Last is Bobbi Brown Lip Balm. This is the Bobbi Brown Extra Lip Tint, and I got in the shade Bare Melon. This helps moisturize and keeping my lips not drying, even though it has a slight tint on it.
Give me some of that fire.
Okay, this is how the cushion foundation looks together with primer, and set this with powder. So, oh my god, it looks a little light for me. I hope that I'm really scared on how this turned out. So I'll give you an update later and to see how this cushion foundation performs. Hopefully the primer helps enhance the longevity of the cushion foundation. Hopefully it helps on prevent it from separating or caking, hopefully. So I'll see you guys later.
Give me some of that fire. Give me some of that fire.
Okay, this is how my face looks like. It's starting to look oily, at the same time luminous and radiant, but there's some separation and cakiness on the bridge of my nose, and also in my mouth area there's a lot of separation even if I use the primer. So I'm gonna show you a zoom in. Okay, I'm going to show you a zoom in of how the foundation looks kind of cakey in my nose, and also in my eyes, the under eyes. The concealer creases together with the foundation. It creases here in my under eyes, so here in my eye area there's some creases. So I'm going to show you a zoom in on how the foundation and the concealer creases.
Give me some of that fire.
Okay, last and final update for my review of the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Cushion Foundation together with the Bobbi Brown Intensive Serum Radiance Primer, and set this with powder. So here's how the cushion foundation performs with the primer. I don't think these two will work together. I mean, even if I use a primer, it's still, the cushion foundation still separates on my chin area, and also on my left line, and there's still cakiness on the bridge of my nose. As you can see, I did a zoom in a while ago. And another thing is the intensive serum concealer on top of the intensive skin serum cushion. There, as you can see, I did a zoom in video, and there was creasing under my eyes. I don't know why. The first time I used this, there wasn't any creasing, but then I used this together with the cushion, it creases under my eyes. I don't know why. Is there something about the formulation of the intensive serum line that they don't work together? And Bobbi Brown has been advertising that these two together and other intensive serum line will work together, but based on my experience, it didn't work well. The cushion separates and looks patchy on my chin area, and then there was caking on the bridge of my nose, and I don't know why. But if I was to compare this without the primer, the cushion foundation looks okay, and it looks better than yesterday without the primer. So if you're gonna use this cushion, it's better to use this without the primer. Maybe if I try other primers, hopefully this will work. But for the Intensive Serum Radiance Primer, they do not work well. I don't know why. And they're both under the brand Bobbi Brown. I don't know why they didn't work. But for me, this looks cakey on me when I use this on top. After 5 hours, the cushion starts to separate and looks cakey in the bridge of my nose, and separation in my chin area and also in my laugh lines. So this cushion doesn't work well with the Bobbi Brown Intensive Serum Primer. And one thing that really looks good was to get the primer, and the cushion looks really flawless and gives a nice luminosity and radiance throughout the day. But after 5 to 6 hours, it's starting to look patchy and separates on my chin and my mouth area. So at first application, it looks flawless, but then hours have passed, they don't look good together. So I'll just use this alone. And another downside about this, because this is a tone-up primer, the cushion foundation, the shade is light to medium. It was way too light for me when I used this on top of the primer, because this has a tone up effect. so it makes the foundation even brighter than the color of my skin. And I was so embarrassed at work that a lot of people notice how I look like I wearing makeup. It looks obvious that I'm wearing makeup because of how bright my face looks compared to the color of my neck and in my ear. As you can see, my face is brighter than my neck and my ear. So the shade light to medium is a shade lighter for me, and it gets even brighter when I use the tone up primer. So these two shouldn't go, so I wouldn't use these two together. So I'm gonna use this cushion alone without the tone up primer. And another good side about this, that even though that this cushion didn't perform well with this longevity, I still like to use this. And for me to make this work, I'm just gonna have to use the ESSY adjuster, the yellow shade and the deep shade for me to darken the color of the cushion, just like other cushion foundations that I have that are lighter for me. I'm going to mix the cushion with the ESSY adjuster to darken and warm the color. I don't know if I'm gonna do another review, but anyway, I'll just stop here. So I hope this review was helpful to you. If you guys enjoyed this, I hope you guys enjoyed this, so please subscribe to my channel. Please give it a thumbs up, hit that notification button, and write down the comment section if you have any requests for me, if you have any product requests for me to review. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye! Okay, here's an update of my review of the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Cushion Foundation, and this time I did a different technique on how I can make this cushion foundation works. First of all, instead of using this as primer, I used the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base as simply just my skincare and base only. So instead of applying the Intensive Serum Radiance primer, I just used this as primer. Then next is I applied a thin layer, I applied less product and apply a really thinner layer for me to apply this cushion. So after I pat the foundation on all over my face, I use a paper towel to wipe off the cushion puff. This is what I did. After applying the foundation, this is what I did. First is I apply less pressure, so there will be less product coming out, and then I pat the excess foundation, and then I apply a small amount on my face just to make sure that I apply a very thin layer of the cushion foundation. So I have to apply less product, so less is more. So then I blend the foundation all over, and then next is I use a paper towel. And then I pat the excess foundation until the cushion puff until there's less product on top of the cushion puff. And then next, after that, now that the foundation I pat my face all over, especially in the areas that are prone to creasing and separation, like here in my chin area. I pat the chin area and also the laugh line here in this part. That's what I did. And then then I set with powder again, and then also with the help of my friend's setting spray, I sprayed my face with setting spray. But I don't have a setting spray anymore. I just use my coworker's setting spray, and this is how the foundation looks on my face after the whole day. I didn't do a video on any update on how the foundation performs, but here is how the foundation performs. Compare yesterday together with the Intensive Serum Radiance primer. The foundation, the improvement of the foundation is better than the past few days. There is, here in my laugh line and my chin area, there is less separation. That's right, I don't know if you can see it, but there is less separation on my laugh line and my chin area. But even if there's very minimal separation, the nose bridge, thankfully the nose bridge, there isn't any foundation caking up, so it didn't cake. So the foundation didn't cake up on the bridge of my nose compared yesterday and the other day. But even if there's no cakiness. There's still some fading. Yes, even with this technique, there's some fading here in my bridge of my nose, but here in my laugh line and my chin area, there's very minimal separation. So there's definitely a better improvement. So I'll just use the vitamin enriched face base as primer, then apply a thin layer of the cushion foundation, and then remove the excess foundation on the cushion puff. Then I pat on areas that are prone to separation, and then set with powder, and then set with a setting spray. So maybe I should buy a setting spray whenever I use this Bobbi Brown intensive serum cushion foundation to make it work. So this is how the foundation performs. But for the under eyes, I still use the concealer, but even I applied even a lesser amount of concealer. What I did is, instead of dotting the concealer under my eyes, I just spread the concealer here in the back of my hand, and then I blend the concealer and then pat the concealer under my eyes. Even if I did that, there's still creasing, but minimal compared to yesterday. There's minimal creasing on the under eyes, but not much because I applied less product compared yesterday. So that's why there's minimal creasing here in my under eyes. So that is my update for how I can make the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Cushion work. So this is the tips that I shared with you. So thank you to all who watch my reviews, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye! Okay, sorry guys, I forgot to mention that. Another thing is, I forgot to tell you that I actually, for the cushion foundation to match my skin tone, I actually applied the ESSY True Flex Adjuster, the shade yellow and the shade deep. The shade deep helps darken the color of the foundation, and then the yellow shade helps warm the color because I have warm undertone. So with the help of these two, as you can see, the cushion foundation matches my skin tone. Right now I already removed the cushion on my face, but a while ago while I still have the foundation on my face, you can see that the color finally matches my skin tone, so it looks really natural to me. But right now I already removed the makeup, so with the help of the ESSY adjuster, it really helps the cushion foundation matches the color of my skin tone. So that's how this. So with the help of this, it helps the cushion foundation match my skin tone.